What's going on, guys? It's Brian for GumballTech.com, and today I'll be bringing you my full review of the iPhone4WhiteKit.com iPhone 4 White conversion service. Now, for $220, you could get everything that turns your black iPhone 4 into a white one. That includes a box. I'll get into this in a minute. Then you also get a little protective case for your phone, the white front panel, the white back panel. Then you also get the white headphone jack and the white dock connector. Then you also get a couple extra things like screwdrivers and opening tools and things like that. So I've reached out to them to try and get their parts in for review, and they agreed to give me everything for $100. So I went ahead and sent them the money, and they sent me everything except for the case, the extra protective case that you're supposed to get in the kit, and the white home button. They forgot those things, but luckily I already had a white home button from my previous conversion. So we're already off to sort of a bad start, and the rest of this video is going to be sort of negative because you guys know how my videos are. I tell it like it is. I don't lie like other reviewers just because they got stuff for free or at a discounted rate. So I'm going to show you everything else, but first I'm going to start with the little box that you get. Now, this isn't in any way real. This is actually a completely fake box. I'm going to go ahead and get my black one just to show you guys a comparison. Okay, so here is my black box, and you can see at the front, they're pretty similar. You know, it's hard to tell whether or not the box is real from the front. But once you get to the side, you can tell that the white box is considerably smaller than the black one. And then once we open them up, here we have the tools that they give you in their little business card. So on the left we have the original black one that's legit, and on the right we have the white fake one. Now inside you do get this little pamphlet with all your little materials and stuff inside, but you can see here that instead of having 3 individual little sections, the white box only has 2. And once I put everything back in the box, I'm going to show you the bottom of the box, so just hang with me for a second. So here is the bottom of the white box. You can see that it says 16 gig on the top, and you can see that the inside portion doesn't even fit properly inside of the box, whereas on this one, it's perfectly in the actual top portion of the box. So I'm going to show you the UPC. Here it is. I actually Googled the UPC, and you guys can do the same if you want. And it actually showed up as a black 16 gig iPhone, the unlocked model. So this box is obviously fake. There are a number of indicators towards why this is fake. So, you know, it's nice that they include this. If you plan on selling your phone on eBay, it's nice to include a white phone. It sort of adds to the value a little bit, even though this is not a legitimate white box. So it's enough of that. Let's go on to the actual phone itself. Now the front looks fine. You know, as you can see here, it looks pretty decent. Here's the back. You can see that my back is cracked. Let me give you a little bit of history on everything here. So they sent me all of the parts, you know, the box and the individual parts wrapped up and stuff. And I took about 4 hours trying to take my phone apart. That was the easiest part. That took about 30 minutes to do. And then once I tried putting everything back together, that's when things started to get really bad. They do provide instructional videos on how to completely disassemble and reassemble the parts. But they did, at the time of me taking everything apart, they didn't have a video on how to properly remove the volume buttons. Because for the white headphone jack, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's somewhere in there. But for the white headphone jack, you actually have to take out the volume buttons and the silent switch because they're all hooked together on the ribbon cable. So I actually ended up ripping that. So I was without my volume buttons and my silent switch for a while, even though the headphone jack still worked. So once I got everything put back together, things just weren't fitting properly, so it was obvious that I wasn't up to the challenge of actually completely taking everything apart and putting it back together. But if I took a little more time, I'm sure I could have gotten it. But I went ahead and overnighted my phone to them because I had to go to CES, which was actually a waste of time, as many of you may know. And then they got it, they did the parts, and they overnighted it back to me. That cost me $50, and everything seemed fine. This is exactly how it showed up. And then later the evening that I got my phone back, this happened. Now, I just cannot recall dropping my phone onto the ground. I just have no idea how this happened. So I'm going to go ahead and say that their quality of parts are really low. It just doesn't seem that the overall quality of the parts that they put on your phone, they just don't seem very high. Yeah, I should have had a screen shield on the back of my phone, yeah, but to break that easily, and I still can't remember dropping my phone, so the back cracked this easily. So far, I would just stay away from these guys. Now, the worst part actually gets to the front, because a few days after I received the front, or my phone back from them, the digitizer stopped working. And I'm going to show you an example of this in Sketchbook. Now you can see that I can draw perfectly on the sides, the left and the right sides. Once I try and draw in the middle, nothing happens. That's because the complete middle portion of my touchscreen doesn't work at all. If I draw it back and forth like this, you can see that the middle of the screen doesn't work whatsoever. Now I tried taking the back off and checking to see if the little cable for the digitizer was loose, and it was not. So the touchscreen is obviously faulty or something, but to have your back crack this easily in the front screen screw up this quickly, it just really tells you the quality of parts that they have. I don't know if they were abused when they received them or during shipping or something or what, but for $200, I would save it and go elsewhere, because so far I'm not really satisfied with their service. And I got a couple emails from them last week, and they said they were going to send me new parts, which is cool. That's fine, but they haven't really responded to my emails since then. And, without having most of your touchscreen working, your phone's almost useless. I've been using my phone like this for about a week, and I just can't take it anymore. So what I did is I paid an extra $100 on eBay to have a new front panel sent to me, because, I need my phone. I can't just keep on using it like this. And iPhone4WhiteKit, they haven't responded to my emails in a long time, so I guess I got to do what I have to do. So overall, I spent over $260 for this review for you guys. So if you're thinking about converting your iPhone to a white one, my conclusion is to just stay away from iPhone4WhiteKit. This is the second iPhone 4 conversion service I've gone through, and they're both pretty bad. The first one was ifixyoureye.com, and while the parts seemed okay, they just weren't that great either. So I feel as if you really want an iPhone and you really want the white one, you should just wait until Apple actually releases it. There are reasons why they haven't released it yet, and those reasons might be transferring over to these leaked parts. And I'm not even going to say that these are OEM at all. On the website, they say they are, but I really don't think they are. The quality of these things are just below what you would expect. I don't feel safe using these parts on my phone, so I'm going to go ahead and wait for the white one to show up. Should show up in a couple of days or so. The guy on eBay was nice enough to give me fast shipping. I'm actually going to leave the back like this because it actually looks sort of neat and unique. So I'm going to put a screen film on the back, and then I will just leave the back like that. Then I'll have to completely disassemble my phone again to put the new front back on, but it was really disappointing. I was really satisfied at first with their parts, but after, 3 days to a week of use, things started falling apart. Chips in the back of the glass ended up turning into cracks. The front of the screen just stopped working. And they never did put my home button back. This is still the one that I used for iFixYourEye, and iPhone4WhiteKit still didn't put their own white button in there, so a little bit disappointing. But let me give you a closer look at the phone. Overall, the phone still looks nice, but just the quality of parts, they're a little bit disappointing. There is the front. Let me go ahead and show you the bottom. If my camera would focus, so that you can see the white dock connector. Supposedly on the real white iPhone, it's going to have a white dock connector and a white headphone jack port. I know it's a little bit hard to see from this angle, but the white one is in there. You really see it there. Here's a closer look at the back. You can see that this does have the flash diffuser, which is pretty nice. And I'm going to try and give you a closer look at the top. It's hard to see the white headphone jack in there, but you could sort of see the top of it right there. So, yeah, that was my full review of iPhone 4 WhiteKit's conversion service. But once again, at first it seems like everything was alright, but then everything just started going downhill. The touchscreen stopped working, the back cracked way too easily. It's just, I put way more abuse into my original black parts than I have on these. My black parts still work fine. So that's it. You can leave any of your comments, questions, or suggestions down below in the video. I know it's a very negative video, but I tell it like it is. So thanks a lot for watching. Once again, you can leave your comments down below, and I'll talk to you.